Oh yes, we are back. It is Lotus Challenge Racing 2025 time once again, and brought to you by ATS Motorsport and Dunlop Tyres SA. It is round 7 and we are back. We are back at Zwartkops for the first of a doubleheader on the 9th of August. We've got 3 phenomenal races coming right at you right now. Lots of action to look forward to, so strap in, get your bras out, and let's go racing. This week brought to you by African Packaging and Water Solutions, Top Products, Lead Racing, and the Lotus Register of South Africa. And with the sun shining, it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day out here today. Lots of the drivers showing a splash of pink for Women's Day as well. Everybody getting ready for race 1. Let's have a look and see how these drivers are going to line up. We have got an absolute bumper grid today here at Zwartkops. Returning old faces as well. Great to see everybody back in the action, and some new rookies as well. So without further ado, it is time for race 1. You can see Andre De Lange is about the most excited guy ever, having some really successful result in PE, lining up on the front row of the grid next to, of course, David Jeremy, having reclaimed pole position at the end of the last race. Let's see how his race goes today. Andy Fulton now back in Class L, getting last minute prep done, just adjusting his helmet straps, getting everything ready, trying to find that first gear, make sure we get off, and there it is, lights out, away we go. David Jeremy, you can see the rest of the pack filing through now, going over the start finish line. Mackie Adlam now going through turn 1, looking to challenge Joseph Kotze and JP Norkier just up ahead. Wow, that's a big lockup from Andre De Lange, taking a narrow line into turn 2. Jeff Gable, you can see chomping at the bit just behind David Jeremy. Now with Class L, we can see Charles Murray with his 360 camera looking like he's getting absolutely swamped into turn 2. Back with Mackie Adlam though, dispatching Class B drivers left and right. We now have Mackie all over the back of Jeff Gable, looking to go around the outside, going around the outside of turn 4, just sweeping through, getting those tires absolutely turned on immediately as Mackie Adlam lost absolutely none of his prodigious skill in the few races we have been unfortunately missing in action. But we can now see Mackie's all the way up to second, and we've only just reached turn 6. Andre De Lange, another lockup from Andre. Looks like he's scooted off the side of the track there through turn 6, and that has gifted Jeff Gable a position. And Mackie is up the inside of David Jeremy. He has gone from all the way at the back of Class B right to the front in literally 1 lap. Look at them flying across the line as we go onto lap 2 of 10, and we can see there are battles up and down the field in the mix now with Class L, and we're on board with Andy Fulton, as we can see Sean Hepburn going round the outside of turn 5 and trying to go round the outside of his teammate Barry Dunford in turn 6. Incredibly brave, usually extremely slippery turn 6, but somehow makes it work and makes up 2 positions in as many corners. Now into turn 8 we can go. Jumping ahead on board with Nick Hodgson now. Into turn 2 we go. Who's he got ahead of him? It looks like Gijs van der Walt, a returning driver, but in Class B this time. We're used to seeing Gijs in L, not anymore. In Class B, Nick Hodgson scooches straight past both Clive Wilmot and Gijs van der Walt, but Gijs with that extra power is all over the back of Nick Hodgson's bumper immediately. Nick taking a wider line. Let's see how that turns out. Oh my goodness, Andy Fulton trying to find a way through in turn 3 there. There's definitely no room on the inside of turn 3. I can tell you that for free. And Gijs van der Walt going side by side. Oh my goodness, Nick Hodgson having to back out of that slightly as both Clive Wilmot and Gijs van der Walt screech by in their Class Bs and head on down the hill. That little battle in Class B is absolutely electric at the moment. Let's see how that pans out. Clive Wilmot, of course, returning after a little bit of a hiatus. Great to have him back. Charles Murray now battling away with another returning driver, Wesley Maxwell, in his slightly modified livery, pink for Women's Day, and we can see Davide Favo as well coming through on the pair of them. Jeff Gable now up towards the sharp end of Class B. Great little move there in turn 2. Looks like David Jeremy just got things slightly wrong, but he's not going to let that sit. He's not going to have that lying down. And David is now up the inside of turn 3 as we go through, looking for turn 4 now. Jeff Gable on the outside, David Jeremy on the inside. What's going to happen? David sweeps through, but will Jeff get a better cutback as we head up the hill? The slipstream, of course, in this hill is really, really powerful. Oh my goodness, guys, we're all not locking the wheels there as we go into turn 8, tucking in behind. Oh, and we've got Rochelle Duplessis as well, coming through in her Pretoria North Class B. You can see that rookie flag on the back of her car flapping in the wind. Great to have a newcomer in Class B. Really fantastic. Nick Hodgson hard on the brakes there. And here we go. Sean Hepburn comes through. Sean Hepburn comes through on the inside of Nick Hodgson into turn 2. And now we have a real battle for the lead of Class L. David Jeremy, speaking of battles for the lead, is all over the place with Jeff Gable. Jeff sneaking through, using that cutback line, but David Jeremy cutting back on Jeff. Jeff locking up. We've got JP Norkia now in on the mix, getting in behind David Jeremy, using that slipstream, but Jeff Gable is now coming straight back at JP, not letting him have a moment's peace and getting that move done and dusted after a little bit of a mistake in turn 6. But JP's got a better exit. Who's going to have it out through turn 1 as we go on board once again with Charles Murray as we're going up the hill? Ben Knights on the inside line. Oh, very brave in the braking. Look at that lockup. My goodness, these guys are giving it absolutely everything, and it's only race 1. My goodness, but it has Charles has managed to use that wide line, but look at the exit that Ben manages to get out of turn 6 as we go down the hill, though. Charles collects everything up and secures that position once more. Ben Knights looking to try and make a move, realign himself, get back in that slipstream, trying to go up the inside of turn 1. That'll be very brave. Charles Murray looks like he's given Ben a lot of room, running super wide through turn 1. Ben taking a very tight, narrow line, but it's allowed Charles the inside line for turn 2. But Ben Knights just absolutely sweeps around the outside of Charles, and now we're back on board with Andy Fulton challenging Barry Dunford, who has found a prodigious turn of pace in the last race or so. And Barry just unable to hold Andy Fulton from sweeping around on that outside line and looking to attack Nick Hodgson and Sean Hepburn up ahead. Now on board with David Jeremy, who I believe is still sitting in second position in Class B. Currently, JP Norkia and Jeff Gable is what we're seeing behind. Those two are just going at it hammer and tongs this entire lap. They have basically been side by side the entire time. Brilliant racing from both of these guys, keeping it clean and keeping the battle very much alive. Speaking of live battles, here we've got Nick Hodgson, Sean Hepburn, who's the Gijs van der Walt and Rochelle Duplessis, all in one frame of a shot, basically side by side through 2 by 2 through the corners. Sean Hepburn just about getting ahead of Gijs van der Walt. Nick Hodgson is not going to like that. He's going to want to be able to get back there. Oh my goodness, that was Gijs almost running into the back of Sean in turn 8. Very, very brave move there. Sean kept his nerve. Gijs just about managed to avoid the contact there. And everybody lives to see another day. Jeff Gable and JP Nokia still going at it though, and still, as I said, side by side through basically every corner. There's turn 5, here's turn 6. As we go through turn 7, I can guarantee you JP's going to be there. There he is, you can see him. And it's going to go into turn 8 as well. Back now with Nick Hodgson and Sean Hepburn. Are we going to see, oh my goodness, we've got Rochelle Duplessis as well. She's going to have the extra power going around the outside, but Sean Hepburn is in the middle of a 3-car turn, and it looks like he's just about going to come up ahead. Nick Hodgson defending that inside line as well, trying to make sure that Rochelle doesn't come through as well, and get himself lined up once again on Sean Hepburn. Gijs van der Walt is now scampering away up ahead, I believe that to be. Oh, Jeff Gable almost running into the back of JP Norkia there, but absolutely tight between these two, having to take a narrow line through turn 4 because of it. And that has allowed JP Norkia just to scamper away a little bit up the hill. We'll come back to them as we see our leader, Mackie Adlam, crossing the line and having a phenomenal return to Lotus Challenge here. Jeff Gable all over the back of JP Nokia. How are we going to end this through turn 8? Wow, late on the brakes. Super late on the brakes from Jeff Gable. Tries to go all the way around the outside and just manages to squeeze ahead across the line in front of JP Nokia. But Class L battle for top honours still going on. Nick Hodgson around the outside of Sean Hepburn. Sean Hepburn knocks off. Oh my goodness, and he's pushed off the side of the track. Rochelle Duplessis comes through. Nick Hodgson just about manages to get back on the track, but that is Andy Fulton and Barry Dunford battling hammer and tongs for the last couple of podium positions, and now that has pushed Nick Hodgson all the way back into fourth. Is he going to manage to get back onto the podium? Only one corner left to go. Goes down the inside. Andy Fulton, his teammate, up ahead now in P2, and Barry Dunford uses that outside line extremely effectively and goes across the line for a wonderful podium position. Look at Barry punching the air. What brilliant results. Let's check in on them now. After all of that frantic action, we have Mackie Adlam coming home for a wonderful victory after his absence. David Jeremy in second and Jeff Gable in third, just ahead of JP Nokia in fourth. In Class L, it was Sean Hepburn who led across the line for the first victory of the day, followed by Andy Fulton and Barry Dunford. Nick Hodgson unfortunately losing out right at the very end there, and the returning Wesley Maxwell, a fantastic fifth position.
Mackie, well done on race 1 win.
Lekker man, yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was awesome man. Good to be back. Lekker race. Awesome track.
How was race 1?
Chaotic. It was, yeah, I got a good start, got a great start. Took a couple of guys off the line, which was awesome. And then, yeah, a couple of B-class in front of me were battling, and that brought Sean into play. And then Sean and I and the B-class guys just battled kind of the whole race. And then unfortunately on the last lap, I tried to make a move around the outside of turn 5 on Sean, and he locked up on the inside and just pushed me off the track, so I couldn't. So I ended up coming fourth. The guys zooted through on me. So, but yeah, we're home, we're in one piece, and that's the main thing. Right, on to race 2.
For sure. Good luck.
Thank you.
Andy, was that a second place, dude?
You know what? Yeah, by God's grace, that was the second place. It was gifted to me, but I just have to say, what an awesome race. It's super slippery out there, and yeah, kudos to old Barry. Hey, he really held his pace, and he is so quick. So yeah, the guys are right on it. So it was really, really good. It's a bit cold, a bit slippery, but I'll take home a second place for sure, and I'm happy with it.
It was there and I was there, and I thought, no, we're not coming for having our bracket locked up. And each time you turn, she has to spark
Rochelle, welcome to Lotus Challenge. Race 1 done and dusted. Tell us a bit about that experience.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. It was busy on track. I had to tell myself to focus a few times, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I had a few dices, which makes my heart happy.
You coached Rochelle off the track. What's it like to watch Rochelle on the track?
It's I can't explain it. I think there's no better feeling than to see someone prospering in a different space. But Rachel's disciplined. Whatever she does it so well. So
And without further ado, we are back for race 2 on board with Jeremy, waiting for those lights, and off we go. Andre Delanga making his way through the mid-pack of Class B. Looks like Jeff Gable really struggled to get off the line, has fallen all the way back to the back of Class B, but David Jeremy's got a great start. We'll check in with him just now. I'm on board with Andy Fulton in the mid-pack of Class L, going 3 wide through turn 2 on the bumper of Barry Dunford. Once again, these two going at it. Hostilities have resumed. You can see Sean Hepburn just ahead and Nick Hodgson just ahead of him. The Class L is once again super compact, and Barry Dunford is trying to get one over on his teammate, like his teammate did to him in race 1, but Andy Fulton is taking a narrower line to try and defend from what looks to be Davide Favo and Wesley Maxwell in the background. Side by side we go here into turn 5, and Davide sweeping around the outside, but Will we see the end of that? No, we are on board for a race replay, looking at Jeff Gable getting a horrible start and everybody just absolutely flying around the inside and outside of Jeff, now tucking in behind the likes of Clive Wilmot and Joseph Kotzer. Now having a look at the top of Class B. Oh my goodness, JP Norkia almost spinning out Mackie Adlam all over the back of him, and as you can see in the background, I think that might be Unred Lunger going off into the kitty litter, but everybody else getting through just fine. We can see now on board with Mackie Adlam all over the back of JP Norkia. Wow, my goodness, he is all over the back bumper of JP, going up the inside of turn 8. Brave move there from Mackie Adlam. Typically doesn't work in Class L, but it has worked like an absolute charm in Class B, and Mackie once again takes the lead of Class B and the overall race. Barry Dunford now all over the back of Sean Hepburn, trying to use that slipstream all the way down into turn 8. Sean taking a very defensive line, having gotten past Nick Hodgson and all over the back of Pace van der Vault once more. Charles Moret now with his fancy 360-degree camera going side by side. Oh, he's ridden up the back of Ronnie Reep and lives to fight again another day. We'll have to see if there's any damage to Charles' car. I'd be extremely surprised if he's able to carry on. But Barry Dunford now trying to go up the inside of Nick Hodgson in turn 2, but Nick taking that wider line and getting a better exit, carrying more speed and managing to retain that position overall, but sticking with Sean Hepburn. Charles Moret, now we can see going through turn 1, has managed to get going again, seems to be okay. Joseph Kotzer now, is he going to manage to take that position on Clive Wilmot? Not quite. Ronnie Reef now all over the back of Rochelle Duplessis. We can see Class L coming through nose to tail as well. Sean Hepburn, we can see a replay now of how he just got past Nick Hodgson and looked to challenge Gijs van der Vault as well. He's going to be trying to use that slipstream of Gijs to pull away from Nick Hodgson. Now David Jeremy, we are back with him, and he is all over the back of JP Norkia, who was just battling with Mackie Adlam. Has lost out through turn 8 and has now lost out through turn 4 on David Jeremy. So but JP Norkia getting a better exit through turn 4. We can see Jeff Gable as well getting in on the action. Oh my goodness, Jeff almost tapping the rear wheel of JP Norkia. That could have ended really badly, but now JP Norkia is looking to pull the same move on David Jeremy, but David having absolutely none of it, taking a narrow line and looking to defend into turn 5. Who's going to have it? JP Norkia goes up the inside. Nice little cutback move from JP, and David Jeremy squeezing. Oh, and there's contact. I'm not sure if JP, we'll have to see a replay, but I'm not sure if JP locked up. But there's a big contact there between David and JP, and David is off into the gravel. Here we go. Here's the replay. Does look like JP locks up possibly slightly, and but David giving JP absolutely nowhere to go, and that contact puts David Jeremy around and having to try and recover. Hopefully he's able to get that car going again and it's not stalled. We are on board now with Class L. Wesley Maxwell storming through on Andy Fulton, trying to use that outside line. We see that stricken car of David Jeremy in the gravel trap there, still going on. These guys would have been under yellows there, so there wouldn't have been any overtaking, but Andy Fulton now looking to try and get back on Wesley Maxwell. You can see Barry Dunford just ahead, and there is the stricken car, the stricken David Jeremy once more, as we see from David Jeremy, from Jeff Gable's perspective, I should say. Here we are on board with Sean Hepburn as Rochelle Duplessis sweeps around the outside in her Class B, and you can see Nick Hodgson is all over the back of Sean Hepburn once more as we go through the yellow flags. There shouldn't be any overtaking here, but Barry Dunford up the inside of I think that is Davide Favo. So all these guys are going to have to sort themselves out through that section. Watch out for the flags, and Davide going back through on Barry there. As you can see, Wesley Maxwell up the inside of turn 8 is absolutely trying to make hay while the sun shines. Here is Wesley, and Barry puts up his hand. Are we going to have a red flag? How is this going to work? Oh, and we see David Jeremy getting going again. So he's managed to get his car out of the gravel trap, back to the pits, check everything over, and get back out into the race. Oh, and he comes out side by side with Wesley Maxwell. I tell you what, that will have possibly unsighted Wesley. It would not be these guys in sprint racing. Of course, there's no pit stops and what have you, so mostly we are unused to seeing cars coming out the pits, but very well navigated by both of them. David Jeremy, of course, never say die attitude for sure. We saw him in the same. Oh wow! As we see Nick Hodgson on board, getting very squirrely with Sean Hepburn, trying everything he possibly can to try and get past and get a win in the bag for today. You can see those yellow flags still out, lining himself up. Davide Favo all over the back, having a fantastic little race is Davide so far, as we are on lap 6. All races have been shortened to 8 laps during the course of the day, so not much time left for these two drivers to sort things out. Andy Fulton now still all over the back of Barry Dunford. I tell you what, he must be sick of the back of that APWS car as we see how they go. And Nick Hodgson still all over the back of Sean Hepburn. Into turn 2 we go, turning in, trying to get a good exit. Is that David Jeremy behind? I think it might be. And Nick is not going to want to relinquish the slipstream from Sean Hepburn. He does pull out though. He does have a little look around the outside. Where's David Jeremy going to go? He's going to go through on the inside. So that's certainly going to help. That's really going to help Sean Hepburn. Oh, but David runs super wide on the exit. That will actually have compromised Sean. Sean trying to squeeze, but Nick Hodgson has managed to get that inside line. We can see from Nick's perspective now, up the inside of Sean. Will he lock up? No, he's not going to lock up, but he does go through, and Sean tries to get the cutback. Nick defends that inside line immediately, not allowing Sean to come back at him with the extra speed through turn 5 that he would have had from that line. And it looks like Nick has grabbed the win, or grabbed the lead, I should say, of Class L. Looks like Wesley Maxwell in the background. And as we go across the line, we can see the checkered flag out. Right, so for those of you confused with the results, we have to remember a red flag takes us back to the positions as they were a lap before crossing the start-finish line. So in Class B, we have JP Norkia coming across for the victory. Fantastically well done by JP. Jeff Gable just behind, and Clive Wilmot returning and getting a podium position in race 2. Class L, we have Sean Hepburn taking the victory despite seeing on camera Nick Hodgson crossing the line. That red flag taking Nick back to second position, and Davide Favo coming up to third position ahead of Wesley Maxwell.
Race 2 done and dusted.
Yo,
Was that better than the first race? How was
a lot
that?
better, but it's still overwhelming. But we're getting there,
Good. Good luck for race 3.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Andrew, how you doing?
Time for a noggin, huh?
Yeah, you're right, eh?
Now, after all that chaos, let's see how the racers found it.
They always do that. It'll be you. I get the moral victory.
Joseph, race 2 done and dusted?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
We tried something new with our suspension setup a bit. I'm trying to find some pace, but sometimes you get it right, sometimes not. We didn't get it right this time. We're about 2 seconds off from where we were, so we're going to make some changes back to where it was, and then for the next race, do our homework and maybe have some changes then.
Good stuff. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
I'm just adjusting my rear coil spring pressure, well actually ride height. So I think I was running on a bump stop, but so I went 2 turns up, made it quite hard, and it felt like I'd taken my tire pressures from 1 bar to 3 bars. So I decided maybe I overdid it. I'm going to go turn back, soften up my clickers, and yeah, give a bit of camber and try again.
Nice. Good luck for race 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
As we wait for race 3, which is literally the last race of the entire day, how does Lotus Challenge spend the time? Drying, of course. And here we go for race 3, once more on board with David Jeremy, this time in looks to be P4. Wow, what a rocket ship of a start from Andre De Lange, absolutely zooting past Mackie Adlam off the start line and getting David Jeremy as well. So here we go. It looks like Class B has JP Nokia up ahead, followed by Jeff Gable and Andre De Lange, but Mackie Adlam getting a brilliant run through turn 2 and taking David Jeremy as well. Sean Hepburn now in Class L looks to be quite far back and trying to make up a position or two. We can see someone off into the gravel trap already. Ronnie Reap ahead. Nick Hodgson trying to get a slipstream from him, and we'll have to see who that recovering Class B is. Charles Marais tucking in behind Tim Venn and also looking to use that slipstream. Using the slipstream beautifully though is Andy Fulton, who has Wesley Maxwell ahead of him, and Rochelle Duplessis sweeping around the outside of turn 4 and powering up the hill to turn 5. David Jeremy now looking to try and make up some lost positions. Mackie Adlam carving his way through on Andre De Lange, having absolutely none of it though, and trying to defend that inside line as they go through turn 6. Mackie Adlam sweeps around the outside though and keeps that position. David Jeremy trying still for his recovery drive and using that slipstream. Oh my goodness, how has that happened? Andre De Lange spinning off. Very, very strange to see that happening on the exit of turn 7 there. We'll have to see if we can find out from Andre later on how that happened, but it does look like he's got going. Charles Marais showing a beautiful view of that as he still tries to attack Tim Venn through turn 8. On board now with Jeff Gable, going side by side with Mackie Adlam through turn 1. This is super brave racing, but Mackie hanging it out on the outside, getting that inside line for turn 2. Jeff Gable trying to get a cutback, a little bit of a wobble there from Mackie Adlam, just would have had Jeff having to lift slightly on the throttle, but he will get the slipstream. And look, here we go. It looks like JP Nokia in that ahead might be scampering away with this race 3, but Jeff Gable goes up the inside of turn 4. He's not going to let Mackie Adlam have anything, any space if he can possibly give it to him, but Mackie, a wily old fox, absolutely defends like a champion and scuttles away up the hill. It's David Jeremy who takes on Jeff Gable and gets around him. So Jeff Gable falling back a couple of positions. Wow, look how close it is in Class L. Davide Favo leading the way. That looks to be Andy Fulton and Sean Hepburn, of course, we are on board with. And these guys are going basically 4 wide through corners, at least 2 wide. They just absolutely not letting each other have any space whatsoever. Barry Dunford now is getting in on the action. This is the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in Class L. Absolutely going at it into 4th gear. We go through turn 1 and just tucking in behind for a little bit of a slipstream is Sean Hepburn up ahead, as well as Barry Dunford. Teammates possibly going at it together. Oh, we can see Davide Favo, I should say, locking up into turn 2, and that could give Nick Hodgson the gap he is looking for to once again regain the lead of this race. Barry Dunford all looking for the best possible slipstream. Andy Fulton somehow losing out there and dropping a couple of positions. Look like Nick Hodgson ahead has got into provisional first place, but who knows what's going to happen as we go into turn 5. 2 wide, Davide, Nick, Sean, Andy, what's going to happen? It looks like Nick has just about managed to fend off the machinations of Davide Favo and his plans to be in the lead, but it looks like Davide is now going to have to see off Sean Hepburn as well, who just squeaks through, and Davide just slots in behind as we go through turn 8. Looks like he's got a poor exit though, and Andy Fulton is now going to have a look. So Davide has gone from 1st to 3rd, and now we clap back to Class B. David Jeremy has Jeff Gable all over the back of him, and Jeff just falling a little bit further back as we go up to the hill. We'll cut back to that a little bit later. A little bit of a replay here from Andy Fulton's perspective on that Class L battle. We could see that lock up there from Davide Favo, and now look at how great of a slipstream Andy is getting, a double slipstream, and this is where he loses out slightly to Sean Hepburn. He's just unable to use it, and Sean scampers through with a little bit of extra space, and that's what lost Andy that position, with Barry Dunford then all over the back of him. Wow, as we can see, Ronnie Reep just flying through on Charles Murray and Andre De Lange. Of course, Andre and Ronnie recovering slightly this race from earlier incidents, but Andy Fulton now. We are back with Andy, as we can see Sean and Nick ahead. Andy trying to attack Davide now, while he's got Barry Dunford all over the back of him. The top 5 in this Class L race, I tell you what, there is just absolutely nothing to separate them. How are they going to turn out? We'll have to see. But this time, Andy Fulton should have a really good slipstream and a really good run all the way through turn 4 and up to turn 5. David Jeremy trying to get a really good run on Mackie Adlam there, and just not quite turning out the way he would have liked through turn 7, going into turn 8. Let's see what he can do all the way down, and over the start finish line we go. Let's see what we can do to the run into turn 1. And you remember, these cars are going to be getting a slipstream throughout this entire section. So you can see, as a result, David Jeremy just closes up on the back of Mackie Adlam very squirrely through turn 2. We've seen that a few times now from Mackie, and we'll have to come back to that a little bit later. But Barry Dunford now all over the back of Andy Fulton. Oh, goes for the lunge, does old Barry, and the inside works absolutely beautifully. But that outside line should give Andy a slightly better exit, and there it is. But Barry tucks in for that slipstream. You can see on his Garmin Catalyst he's now gaining a little bit through that slipstream and going to be attacking Andy once more. Sean Hepburn not letting Nick have anything go his own way today. Tries this outside line once more. What'll happen is we go through turn 5. Nick cuts in and once again defends that inside line. Makes Sean think about a different move. Sean going through turn 7 is now with that cutback all over the back of Nick Hodgson. Nick trying to make his car as wide as he possibly can. You can see Sean using a slightly unorthodox second gear for turn 8. The different differentials and gearbox ratios in these cars mean that each driver takes a very, very slightly different approach to gearing through the various corners. As we go side by side, Jeff Gable all over the back of who is that? I'm trying to work out who that is. But this Class B battle, I believe that might be David Jeremy actually, is once again hotting up absolutely, as we see the Class L battle between Sean and Nick is still going on. These two just cannot leave each other alone. Look how close these two get. This racing could not be closer if they tried. Sean Hepburn has his mirrors full, is absolutely full of somebody who I can't quite see. Oh, it looks like to be Andre De Lange as we're going on to the last couple of laps now. Remember, only 8 laps in these last 2 races of the day. You can see the sun is setting as they're going through turn 1, making it quite difficult to spot braking and turning points. But these guys absolutely know what they are doing around Zwartkops. They have certainly done enough races here, and we will. I expect to see Andre De Lange coming through. But oh my goodness, is that Mackie Adlam? It is Mackie Adlam all over the back of JP Norkia. Takes an opportunistic move and makes his way into the lead of this race 3. And JP Norkia, having had a brilliant lead, has unfortunately slipped back into second place, but he will get an excellent slipstream here. And will he be able to take Mackie Adlam through turn 4 or turn 5? Let's see how this plays out. David Jeremy hoping these guys battle just a little bit harder, give him the ability to close up, and there it is, closing up using that slipstream, taking a lovely line through turn 4. And on the way up to the top of the hill, how do we go? Well, I tell you what, Jeff Gable is all over the back of these guys as well. We now have a 4-horse race for the victory in Class B. Oh my goodness, David Jeremy getting so close behind JP Norkia, and Jeff Gable, opportunistic move, takes 2 for 1. Thank you very much, he says. Oh, and getting very squirrely on the exit. David Jeremy is now going to try and have him through turn 1. Just closes the door very slightly, does Jeff Gable. and says, no thank you, David, I will not be having any of that right now. David taking that outside line through turn 2 might give him a better exit and possibly a good slipstream here on Jeff Gable. But I tell you what, Mackie Adlam is scampering ahead in the distance. JP Norkia in the mirrors. Oh, it looks like David's bonnet has flown off and is now flapping around on his car. Is he going to stick on for the rest of the race? No, flies off, and there it goes into the distance, and just manages to avoid JP Norkia's car. Thank goodness, because that could have ended really, really badly. But Jeff Gable gets very, very sideways. We're going to see and now we see more contact. We've seen contact twice now on David Jeremy today. And I tell you what, with that bonnet flying off 2 taps around, he is going to be an extremely unhappy camper tonight. And Jeff Gable just about manages to live, to fight again another day. But JP Norkia is now all over the back of Jeff Gable, trying to go around the outside of turn 8. Jeff Gable having absolutely none of it, and scoots across the line just ahead of JP Norkia. Now on board with Barry Dunford as we on the last lap. Can Barry make something happen here? And just finishes behind Andy Fulton. My goodness, this race has just been fast and frantic the whole day. But let's check in and see what those results are like for race 3. Right, so confirmation of the results in Class B. Mackie Adlam coming home for his second race victory of the day, followed by Jeff Gable and JP Norkia, not quite able to maintain that second position. Joseph Kotzer, fantastic result in 4th, followed by Clive Wilmot, Rochelle Duplessis, Andre De Lange, Gijs van der Walt, Ronnie Reep, and unfortunately David Jeremy just finishing at the back there, but is classified. Class L, we have Wesley Maxwell. Brilliant victory from Wesley. He just flew away. We didn't even see him in the race. Followed by Nick Hodgson and Sean Hepburn, just absolutely unable to separate themselves today. And Davide Favo coming home in 4th, followed by Andy Fulton, Barry Dunford, Ben Knight, Charles Moret, Tim Venn, Andre Duplessis, and Rowan van der Walt.
Changed everything back to what we had in the first session, and went a lot better than on the second heat. Had a nice dice with Clive. Good weekend overall. We had fun.
Good stuff. Congrats.
Thanks.
Weekend was epic. Cars back on it. Seems like the driver's back on it as well. I think I had 1 fifth, 2 fourths. So it's a good weekend for me, honestly. Great racing. Can't wait for the footage to come out on the other channel. I promise you guys are going to love it. 3 abreast into 5. Yeah, 3 abreast into turn 5. It's going to be epic.
Come on, let's put this excitement on camera. That rewind 30 seconds. 30 seconds ago you were smiling.
It's a bit boring, but that's how these things go.
It is what it is, and
No man, it was an epic race. Jeepers, there was like 4 of us just swapping positions, going for it the whole time. Then we broke away a little bit, and we just went at it. Yes, I don't think I've driven my car that hard ever. I was maximum attack. Maximum. Everything I had, I threw at it. Everything. The only reason I stayed in front was Andre gave me a tow on the last lap.
Fantastic racing all day, brilliant atmosphere. And do you want to race? Well, head over to the lotusregister.co.za and check out everything about Lotus Challenge racing here in South Africa and join us for the next race. Speaking of the next race, hang on to your socks because we will be back at Zwartkops for some more frantic action on the 20th of September. Join us then.